Hello, this is your Aquarius new moon outlook for February 17th, 2026. So we have the sun and the moon at 28 degrees of Aquarius. And there is yet, as the last full moon, a Aquarius stellium. Pluto now at 4 degrees, Mars, the action planet, at 19, and the sun and moon, the new moon, at 28 degrees. So, with all this stress on Aquarius, you can bet, similar to the last full moon, that there is going to be a stress with the 11th house and Aquarius and Uranus. And Uranus is about our humanity, it is about technology, the future. Aquarius is about our friends, our friendliness. And these are going to be subjects that we are going to be focused on. There could be some changes regarding friendships now, our personal friendships, or all types of friendships, even in the news, friendships or not. And that may include friends and your friendships changing right now. Maybe one of the friends demands a little bit more freedom. Maybe they're acting a little bit unpredictable, but nonetheless, that is a focus for us right now. And it also could be that we are meeting new friends as well. But with Mars there, not really conjunct Pluto, not conjunct the sun and the moon, the new moon in Aquarius. It is, however, about action. So, because we're going to be focused right now on our humanity, even during the Aquarius full moon, there's going to be a lot that comes up about how we treat each other, about justice, about fairness, and we will have to still, yet this new moon, consider others' opinions, because that is what this new moon is about. To some degree, it's about our objectivity, not being narrow-minded. And keep in mind, Aquarius is a fixed sign. Although it is about our loyalty to each other, it is about respecting each other's freedoms, opinions, Aquarius. Yes, indeed. And these are going to be topics we are going to be focused on. But because Aquarius is a fixed sign as its depositor, Uranus, we may be awfully stubborn. So this is kind of an Aquarius new moon with a touch of stubborn, a touch of fixed, kind of the stick in the mud attitude. And Aquarius is known for their sense of objectivity, friendliness, getting along with others, really uh, charity, reaching out to others. And yes, again, that's going to be our theme right now with this new moon. It's all going to be about justice and fairness, right, wrong, but with this Taurus Uranus, and thank goodness it is direct right now. However, it is at 27 degrees, pretty much late Taurus. Nonetheless, it is Taurus. So we're going to be apt during this new moon to want to get our way. So this is a time you want to take the hint from this new moon and be more objective, more about the other person's feelings, opinions, and so on. But we are going to be very aggressive, very assertive, and really putting a lot of energy with that Mars and Pluto with the new moon into some kind of a new project, some kind of new organization, which is also stressed with Aquarius and the 11th house, because we've got the new moon. And of course, it is about new beginnings. And with Aquarius, we may develop some kind of, or a discussion of, some kind of an organization that is connected with liberation, our freedoms, really connecting with each other and uniting each other, because that's the positive about this new moon. It's about how we can come together and create that certain unity, certain peace between each other, that certain friendliness, that togetherness. And this is going to be a really big topic of discussion. And with the new moon there, the public is going to have a great deal of input into whatever this organization is, whatever this new ideas about our humanity. And this is really good with this Aquarius new moon, because keep in mind, the new moon is at 28 degrees, so it kind of has a sense of Pisces to it. A little bit of the charity of Pisces, a little bit of the objectivity and friendliness, detachment of the Aquarian. And we are going to look to the future. And as always, especially during this time of year with Aquarius Sun and the Aquarius stellums in general, this is the time that we are going to be focused on what? The future. And that includes not just our unity and each other, it does include space, anything to do with artificial intelligence, computers, technologies, inventions. And this is a time that I am apt to believe, because of this new moon on the cusp between Aquarius and Pisces, that there could be some kind of idea, invention, what have you, that comes about right now, certainly over the next few weeks during this time of the new moon until the next full moon, that really gets our interest going in the future, uh, or something like an invention, a project, an idea that is something that is coming about that is really helpful to the masses, to the public, because this, however, keep in mind, is a new moon. So we are really going to feel very progressive right now. We are really also very creative. Yes, Aquarius, even though it is the 11th house, say not the 5th house of its opposite sign of Leo, is very creative. And right now, because Mars is there with the sun, of course, moon, new moon, and Pluto, there may be some discussions about intimacy or relationships, how we relate to each other. And because Aquarius is about change and it is progressive, very futuristic, there could be some interests about how we look at each other, how, yes, we relate to each other, uh, however that is. And there may be some group discussions right now. That's going to be also a highlight of this new moon. We want to kind of gather together and kind of get a sense of how we feel about different topics. And again, this is a really positive trait of this Aquarius new moon. Okay, so we now have Pisces, Venus elevated in the sign of Pisces at 8 degrees, conjoining the North Node in Pisces. And keep in mind, The nodes are about our sensitivities, what really makes our emotions tick, what really is a soft point of our feelings and emotions. And when you have an elevated Venus in Pisces with the North Node in Pisces, well, we're talking Pisces here. So something is really going to capture our sensitivities about something to do with, well, we're talking what? Pisces, we're talking the 12th house. And of course, Mercury, the communicator, is just past that. So something that's connected with, of course, healing, different elements of healing, health care. And that could be a hint on both mental and or emotional health care. So there's going to be a focus right now on possibly financial institutions uh, with, like banking, although you may not think so because that's generally connected most times with Capricorn and Taurus. However, in this case, it can also be connected with, believe it or not, Pisces, because Pisces is about change. And again, it's the 12th house. So things are changing. Maybe there's the folding of corporations or, yes, banks, or, believe it or not, health care institutions, hospitals, clinics, because Pisces is a water sign and Pisces is mutable and it is about change. So there's going to be some discussions about changes in our health, nutrition, mental health, physical health, and all forms of healing. And this is really, on a side note, kind of a time when there's going to be kind of a love of the mystical or the paranormal, or kind of involving a little bit of the esoteric and a little bit of the mystical, kind of connected and tying in with healing very much so right now, especially because you've got the North Node with Venus in Pisces elevated and Mercury, the planet of communication. So these areas, even the psychical, the metaphysical, are really going to come to the forefront now and making changes that can benefit us with our health and our well-being. And again, as I said, there can be the focus on hospitals, clinics, anywhere that has anything to do with mental health, physical health, and so on and so forth. But getting back to Aquarius here, because it is tied in with now direct Uranus at 27 degrees of Taurus, we'll have to expect the unexpected, and maybe because of whatever unexpected developments come about now, because we are kind of feeling a little bit feisty and rebellious, this may bring about the discussion about health, healing, and wellness in society, Aquarius. So do do expect a little bit of some rebellion from people right now, and unfortunately, that could include bullying because of the depositor of Uranus in Taurus. So we will have to be careful of, kind of connecting with people that could be a little bit unstable or a little bit of a loose cannon, feisty, bullyish, unpredictable in this type theme that may also be kind of a little bit of the downside of this Aquarius new moon. And we have, oh, ever so special right now, we have an exact conjunction at zero, official 0 degrees Aries critical. That is official. Of all the signs, 0 degrees of Aries is critical, both with the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. And what is Aries? Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, and it's about change. And so that kind of blends with this new moon, with Aquarius and the new moon as of beginnings, and Neptune, Saturn in Aries. And so, what is this? This is the emphasis with beginnings. So, there's going to be something that comes about now that is about a fresh start. And Aries is all about our enthusiasm. It is all about being kind of like Aquarius a bit, kind of about being forward looking and about the future. And Aries is the pioneer, self sufficient, independent Aries. So, whatever we discuss right now, whatever new, fresh venture has a little bit of the new moon in Aquarius energy behind whatever venture we are beginning right now. That's going to be the topic of focus of conversation, and we are going to have such zest with that Aries connection. But we will have to be cautious that whatever venture we are starting right now, we have to make sure we have all the facts perfectly clear, because we have Saturn, a little bit of the debilitator. It kind of creates blocks with Neptune, the deceiver, nebulous Neptune at also 0 degrees of Aries. So we're feeling really positive about starting some business, starting a project, might even be something connected with helping others, because we do have Neptune and Saturn together. So we really want to reach out. We want to be charitable. You've got Aquarius, you've got Pisces, and now with Aries, Saturn with Neptune, we are feeling awfully compassionate right now. So we may feel like there is some kind of topic about mental health, could be physical health, about our humanity, or about charity, about helping others right now, where we want to begin some kind of venture, project, organization, something that we feel will help each other. And we are going to feel like this is definitely going to get off the ground, no hold bar. Everything's going to work out. But keep in mind, we do have Neptune there with Saturn. So if it is businesses, if it is projects or ventures, yes, we'll be imbued with all that enthusiasm from Aries, but we want to make sure we dot our I's and we cross our T's, because we may run into a little bit of some blocks and a little bit of some shadiness, because keep in mind again here, Neptune can be very deceptive. Saturn provides the blocks, and they are conjunct here, which is on one hand very good. They're within the same energy, but we may in the future find that there are certain blocks and unforeseen obstacles that may come about, and so that may slow down our project, could kind of put a damper on our enthusiasm, because remember, Saturn and Neptune's depositor here is Mars in Aquarius. And even though there's a new moon and that gives us further enthusiasm or positivity, we can't be too fooled by this Saturn-Neptune conjunction, as positive as it is. But there is going to be something personally that is very critical to our future development that we are discussing now, whether it's in the news, and even personally, some kind of personal project, what have you, that we want to begin that we are really going to feel very good about. Uh, so move forward, just be cautious. And of course, yes, we have Uranus in the sign of Taurus, but do keep in mind this is kind of a double whammy here. We have Uranus as the depositor of the new moon, Mars, and Pluto, and that it's going to get pretty intense. But keep in mind, we also have the new moon squaring its depositor. So that kind of creates and ups the intensity of our rebellion, of our need to get our way, kind of throwing our weight around because this is what we believe, that's what you believe, that's great, but I'm going to do things my way. So it's great that Uranus is the depositor because it gives us a certain focus and determination to do what we want to do, carry out what we believe is right. But it also creates with this square off some rebellion that we could get carried away with a little bit much. And we want to take the hint from Aquarius, maybe even Pisces. You know, it's about compassion, it's about charity, and really seeing the other person's point of view, not really doing what we can to get our way and to do what we want to do and roughshod over other people, because the impetus to act like that right now with this square off with Uranus and the new moon is going to be far too great. And there could be repercussions because of this. There could be, issues with the law or issues with groups of people. Remember, bullying, protesting, acting somewhat feisty and rebellious is what is occurring right now. Also, during this Aquarius full new moon. So we really need to tame that attitude. We really got to tone it down because we will see a lot in trouble the more we try to force our way onto other people and our opinions and whatnot. Just practice more kindness and things will work out a little better as far as our behavior is concerned. And then we have Jupiter, now still retrograde in the sign of Cancer, the prosperity planet of Jupiter, which is great. However, we also have a quincunx or an inconjunct, somewhat of a minor aspect, but tense aspect between Jupiter and Mars. So that kind of increases a little bit of our frustration, somewhat of our feistiness here because it is in conjunct or quincunx with Mars, the action planet. But it's more about our financial situation. It's more about the economy because Jupiter is still in Cancer, and Cancer is the second house. It's about our money. It's about what we value. And so with this retrograde Jupiter and making that sweet little quincunx to somewhat of a wide quincunx to Mars, the action planet, it's like we are taking 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. Like we have a lot of plans. We really are talking about maybe investing, really saving some money. Really, we have some great business ideas right now with that Jupiter in Cancer, but we may find that issues right now with the economy, there's that word again with banks or banking, as I mentioned earlier, any kind of anything with money, our value system is kind of, well, it's making us feel like right now we're kind of walking through the mud and we just want to do better. But it's like, you want to get that project, you want to get that business off the ground. We want the economy to improve, the real estate market, stock market, what have you. But we are finding that, well, for now, during Jupiter retrograde in Cancer, that we're just going to have to grin and bear some of these money or financial concerns because this too shall pass. But Jupiter, somewhat like Saturn, is very wise. It's connected with the ninth house. So there's something to learn for this. And yes, maybe, who knows, maybe, for example, saving money. It might start off very slow because of this retrograde Jupiter. But as we move forward, because with these retrograde planets, it kind of makes us a little bit more focused and determined, even if frustrated. As we move forward in time, we might find that we invested in a gold mine, or we save a lot more money than we ever thought possible. Or once we really invest right now and there's some frustrations, you may find years later that you made the right choice about whatever investment that is. So retrogrades have good uh, a good possibility about them. It may be frustrated uh, in the here and now, but in the future, because keep in mind, Sagittarius, the sign of kind of like Aquarius, the future, and really Sagittarians are very forward looking. Well, their depositor, or I should say, their ruler is Jupiter. So we are still imbued with positivity here. So even though, again, there may be some aggravations, some frustrations, that our money situation really isn't going as good as we thought, just wait till Jupiter turns retrograde and oh boy, it's going to be just wonderful. The economy's going to improve. There may be some really good returns on investments. You may find that you've got a lot more money than you thought possible, and so on and so forth. So there is a good, as mentioned, with Jupiter retrograde once it goes direct. Okay, so, and also one last thing, keep in mind uh, that Uranus rules the earth with Taurus. Uranus and Taurus. Taurus is connected with the earth. And with the depositor and the square to the new moon in Aquarius, during this time, there's going to be very significant earth changes. We've got possible earthquakes that could be rather memorable and rather large. And what else? Some weather changes. So earth and weather changes are going to be of a very much topic of conversation right now that can include anything from volcanoes, the weather changes, especially with the unpredictable earth changes or weather changes now with Aquarius and Uranus in Taurus, and of course some big earthquakes. So we've got to be on the lookout for these changes right now. But as I've said before, sometimes the earth changes are there because of the changes with our humanity, with people, our earth. So basically, as above and literally as below in this case. So just be prepared, but we will go with the flow and we will be okay. Right now, this is a good time to really kind of remain in the background. It's a good time to also get involved with talks with friends, with groups, organizations, as long as the talks do not become too acrimonious or too combative, then there will be progress. However, if we are narrow-minded and we don't consider somebody else and their beliefs, opinions, what have you, then this time could be filled with conflict. So we want to take the positive of this new moon and really practice negotiation, or really look to the future and really focus on that which is about technology, that which is about our humanity. And take a hint from Pisces. Of course, we've got Venus elevated with the North Node. So we're really going to feel kind of sensitive right now, maybe a little bit too sensitive. Mercury's there too. Uh, so we really want to be charitable, and that's what we need to focus on, is the good side of all of this, the charity, the humanity, the unity, the future, the technology, the friendliness, but not be overly rebellious to the point where we are creating discord, because that's the opposite. But also, Uranus is about style as well. So there could be a lot of new, not just inventions, as aforementioned, there could be a lot of interesting styles, or a lot of new individuals that are connected, well, in all areas, whether it's science, whether it's technology, whether it's entertainment, that are going to be up and coming now, and people that are very unique and very talented, kind of that theme with Aquarius of genius, brilliance right now. So that's also something we're going to keep our eye on. So if we can just watch the signposts and really just focus on the positive of this Aquarius new moon and not get too out of hand, then the Aquarius new moon will come through just fine.
If you'd like to get in touch with me, my contact information is down below. I give one-on-one readings and written reports. Please subscribe to this channel and press the bell notification. Until next time, many, many blessings.